Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. The NFL landscape is always shifting, and right now, there's some serious buzz about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the NFC East. And for the Commanders, it might be a game changer. Rumors are swirling that the Cleveland Browns, currently in a bit of a rebuild phase on their defensive front, are seriously considering trading one of their most dominant pass rushers, Myles Garrett, to Washington. Yes, you heard that right. Myles Garrett, the elite pass rusher from Texas A&M, could be heading to the Commanders, and if this happens, it would send shockwaves through the league and could very well mark the beginning of a new era for Washington's defense. Now the Browns are in a position where they're contemplating a rebuild, especially on offense, and that's leading them to consider moving some of their assets to accelerate the process. Cleveland's main focus right now seems to be freeing up cap space and accumulating draft picks, which they can use to rebuild more steadily rather than going all in right now. Myles Garrett, with his massive cap hit of around $29 million in 2026, becomes a prime trade chip. The Browns are pondering whether to move him for a package that includes future draft picks and potentially a quarterback prospect, something that would give the Browns more flexibility and cap space to rebuild with younger players and draft picks, much like how the Bears' trade of Khalil Mack back in 2018 helped accelerate their rebuilding process. For the Commanders, landing Garrett would be nothing short of a defensive revolution. Imagine having a player of his caliber anchoring the front seven, transforming what has been a solid but not yet elite defense into a disruptive force that strikes fear into opposing quarterbacks. Garrett, who's been one of the most dominant edge rushers in the league for years, would instantly elevate Washington's pass rush, increasing pressures, sacks, and overall quarterback disruption. His presence would complement the existing talents like Chase Young, creating a nightmare scenario for offenses trying to game plan against Washington's defensive line. Let's break down what Garrett brings to the table. Over his career, he's played 162 games, racking up an impressive 98. 5 sacks, which puts him among the elite pass rushers of his generation. His ability to generate pressure isn't just about sacks. He's also accumulated 18 forced fumbles and 15 pass deflections. His Pro Football Focus, PFF, grades have consistently been above 93, which is an elite mark. And even in 2025, he maintained a 92.7 grade. This year, he's already logged 12 sacks in 14 games with a total of 28 quarterback hits, and he's been remarkably durable, missing only 2 games in Week 4 due to a rib injury. In 2025, Garrett's stats are eye-popping. 12 sacks, 912 snaps played, and no injuries that sidelined him for long. His game against the Steelers in Week 3 was a showcase, with 3 sacks in that game alone. When you compare Garrett to other legendary pass rushers like J.J. Watt, you see a similar dominance. He's a force who can change the course of a game on any given play. If Garrett joins Washington, he would bring a boost comparable to what Bosa's trade did for the 49ers, adding at least 15 more sacks to an already talented unit. Now, let's consider the impact on the Commanders' defense. Currently, Washington's defense, which has accumulated 25 sacks this season, would see an immediate and significant upgrade. Adding Garrett could push their pressures up by about 22%, while reducing rushing yards allowed by roughly 15%. Their sack total could increase by around 14, which, combined with the presence of Chase Young and other key players, would make their pass rush one of the most feared in the league. This would create a domino effect, making life easier for their secondary, which has already been improving this season, and further reducing big plays allowed. The Commanders' defensive identity under coordinator Jack Del Rio has been about relentless pressure and forcing turnovers. Garrett's addition would solidify that identity, giving them a disruptive front that can dominate the trenches. Historically, players like Aaron Donald have shown how a single dominant interior or edge rusher can completely shift the power dynamics of a defense, something Garrett could do for Washington. With Garrett's ability to generate QB hits, 28 this year alone, opposing quarterbacks would face a nightmare every time they dropped back. They'd be under constant pressure, leading to more hurried throws and hopefully more turnovers for the Commanders. Looking ahead to the playoffs, adding Garrett would dramatically improve Washington's Super Bowl chances. Their odds of winning the title, which currently sit around plus 12-0, could see a notable shift. With Garrett on board, those odds could improve to around plus 5-0, as he acts as a true X-factor. His presence in critical moments like the playoffs could be the difference between a deep run and an early exit. Think about the Chiefs' edge last year, when their pass rush, led by Chris Jones, played a huge role in their championship run. Garrett in Washington could be that kind of difference-maker, especially against high-powered offenses like the Lions or 49ers, where pass rush is often the key to victory. But as exciting as this sounds, it's not just about adding a star. It's about what this move could mean for the franchise's future. A trade for Garrett would send a message that the Commanders are serious about competing now and building a formidable defense that can sustain success. It's a move that could ignite their rebuilding process, inspire the entire team, and energize the fan base. For a team that's been searching for that missing piece on defense, this could be the spark they need to take the next step. Of course, there are questions and hurdles. Cleveland's asking price will be high, likely multiple draft picks and perhaps a promising young player or two. The Commanders will have to weigh whether acquiring Garrett is worth giving up some future assets. But considering the potential upside, it might be a gamble worth taking. The NFL trade deadline is always a whirlwind, and this year the buzz about Garrett has only grown louder. If it happens, it could reshape the NFC East and set Washington up as a true contender for years to come. In the bigger picture, this move could also influence the league's landscape. A trade of Garrett to Washington would echo the Khalil Mack trade from 2018, which significantly bolstered the Bears' defense and contributed to their playoff run. It's about acquiring that difference maker, that game changer, who can elevate an entire unit and inspire everyone around him. Garrett's addition would serve as a statement. The Commanders are here to compete at the highest level, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. So as fans, we have to keep an eye on how this develops. The NFL rumor mill is swirling, and while nothing is guaranteed yet, the possibility of Myles Garrett wearing the burgundy and gold is enough to get anyone excited. Imagine the roar at FedEx Field if Garrett makes that first sack as a Commanders. It would be a moment to remember, a sign that this franchise is serious about winning and that they're willing to go all in to make it happen. The upcoming weeks could be pivotal, and if this trade happens, it might go down as one of the most significant in franchise history. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think a trade for Myles Garrett makes sense for the team? Would you be willing to part with draft picks or young players for a shot at a dominant pass rusher? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Commanders. This is a pivotal moment, and your voice is part of the conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. The next chapter could be written very soon, and it's an exciting time to be a fan of this team. The future is bright, and with moves like this, Washington could be heading toward a new era of dominance. Keep the faith, support your guys, and let's see what the front office pulls off next. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds.